Hey, everybody. Welcome to Take the Trip. This is episode 2 of our podcast. I'm Britton Turner,
Melissa Turner.
and today we're going to cover our recent trip to the Dominican Republic. We recently went to the Dominican Republic to celebrate our 18-year anniversary. It was my first time in the Dominican Republic, both of our first time in the Dominican. And for this trip, we decided that we wanted to split the time between a couple of different resorts just so that we could see what I guess not knowing anything about the Dominican, there's tons of all-inclusive resorts in the Dominican, and I've been saving up some Hyatt points, and Hyatt, and I don't know the timeline, but a few years ago, Hyatt acquired Dreams and Secrets, I believe, and so we were able to redeem points at both Secrets Cana.
Which is that was on my bucket list.
Yeah, it's a highly rated, 5 diamond, AAA rated, all inclusive. So we started, we'll just dive right in. That's where we started. We flew Atlanta to Punta Cana nonstop. And I will share something about the trip. When we got there, because we were doing multiple resorts, I instead of doing a traditional airport transfer, like I didn't book it through Hyatt, I didn't book it through the normal airport transfer service like Amstar that a lot of the resorts use. I just thought we'll just use Uber when we get there. So that was what we did. We called an Uber and we were picked up. The Uber was a few minutes, I won't say late. It said he would arrive in 3 to 5 minutes, something like that. And I think it was about 10 minutes he showed up. And when we got in the car,
Well, first they don't let Ubers come to the airport.
yeah, like it was not in a traditional like taxi line pickup area. We kind of had to go down like a pathway.
A little bit outside of the airport to get the Uber.
Yeah, so that was a little bit different, I guess, first and foremost. But once we got in the Uber, he he started ask well, he first asked for my Uber PIN, which I wasn't familiar with an Uber PIN, but apparently at least in other countries or at least in the Dominican, on the app, it provides you a 4-digit PIN that you're supposed to validate with the driver. And so we went through that process and I thought everything was good. And then he pulled over as we were kind of like exiting the airport and he was like, and he was using Google Translate or some app on his phone to translate because he didn't speak very good English. But basically what the Google Translate was saying was that because of the taxi union in the Dominican, they're unable to pick up from the airport. And I was like, okay. And so he went on translating and said basically, in order for me to take you to your hotel, I have to transfer you as a taxi, like a taxi fare. So you have to pay the increased taxi fare. And so
It was really a way for them to just get you in the car, adds an Uber with a lower rate, but then tell you they're going to charge you more.
Yeah,
That's basically how it was.
basically, yeah, because the Uber rate was about half of what the standard taxi rate, which he had the taxi sheet, and I saw he had the taxi uh, driver logo, like a taxi pass up on his windshield that all the taxi drivers had. So anyway, we basically had to pay the increased fare, which I my preference was not to burn any cash, and he said, "Oh, I can take card, it's no problem." But then once we got to Secrets, his credit card, he was like, "Oh, bad cell phone signal. He couldn't process my card through his little Square card reader." So I ended up having to burn some cash and paid in cash to for that. So thankfully, because of that experience, I can recommend to you guys not to try to use an Uber in the Dominican, at least from the airport. I think hotel to hotel, it wouldn't have been a problem, but it's just in and out of the airport seems to be the concern. And so I did some research while we were there and found a really awesome transfer service. It's a local transfer service, local to the Dominican. They have presence in Punta Cana as well as Santo Domingo, and it's called Transsecure. And
They were great.
they were phenomenal. They were on
Cars
time.
were nice and clean and new. They had Wi-Fi in one of them. One of
Yeah.
them had Wi-Fi available in the car.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, both times we ended up using them after that. They were phenomenal. And like I said, on time or early, even our last pickup
Yeah.
going back to the airport, they were early. So highly recommend those guys. So anyway, but we got to Secrets. I had booked our room at Secrets as a preferred room, which apparently all of the Secrets and Dreams have a preferred category. And so we booked both. We booked our Secrets preferred, we booked Dreams preferred, but with that, you get a dedicated check in
Area.
lounge area.
Mhm.
Yeah. So they greeted us, took us back to the preferred area, got us checked in. Our We had an assigned butler at
Mhm.
Secrets. He was unavailable at the moment, so they invited us to stay in that lounge, and
Yeah,
they
until he
had
could make it.
yeah, they had drinks like champagne and stuff in there, or we could go out to the lobby bar. And so we just opted to go out to the lobby bar and
Mhm.
get a drink at the lobby bar, which within 5 minutes of us getting
He
to the
showed
lobby
up,
bar, he was
and
there.
he was amazing.
He was awesome. He was like, what do you guys want for dinner? Let me get your dinner reservations booked. Would you like breakfast in bed for tomorrow? Let me get everything booked for you
Yeah, he was
guys.
nice.
Very nice. All of the butlers there use, and I think this applies not just in the Dominican, but in most other countries, use WhatsApp. So he got my WhatsApp. We linked together on WhatsApp, so that way, if we were just within Wi-Fi coverage of the resort, we would have connectivity and be able to talk to him. So he took us to the room. They had it all set up: strawberries, chocolate dipped strawberries, champagne. Everything was set up and
Mhm.
ready and waiting for us. And we had arrived about 3 p.m. It was right at check-in time, so they were on it. They were ready for us. I'm trying to remember, did he give us any tour, or he really just took us to the room?
He showed us like the preferred lounge, which was near our room, and it was nice. They had food in there and
Food in a
big
bar, big
TV.
TV.
They were watching football games. Um, but
Yeah.
yeah,
So
he
yeah, he took us and showed us the room, and yeah, in the lounge, and kind of gave us where the restaurants were as we were walking past everything coming to the room from. And I don't remember the building number 9, I think, on the resort, which was right kind of at the point of the preferred pool. So with Preferred Club, we had a dedicated check-in area, a dedicated preferred lounge, a dedicated bar at the dedicated pool, and a dedicated beach
Yeah, and it
area.
was a lot quieter than the main pool. Some people want that. Some people want the party. The main pool was, they had volleyball, they had live music, they had
Swim it.
that. So the preferred pool was a lot quieter. They didn't have, it wasn't as big of a party. But it was very nice. The pool was clean. Everybody was super friendly over there. Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
great wait staff. So we
Mhm.
really explored that area, spent most of our afternoon, evening there before dinner.
And I will say the preferred chairs, like lounge chairs, they had like padding. And at the main pool, I don't think they had the padding.
Yeah, they were just like normal, like pool lounge
Yeah.
chairs. Didn't have the pads on top of them. So that was a nice perk.
Hmm.
And so then we had, what did we have for dinner the first night?
We had the steakhouse.
That's right. We went to the
Hmm.
steakhouse, and it was good. It was very
Yeah,
good. Very
it
good
was good.
meal. Uh-huh. Enjoyed that. There was live music. So from the steakhouse, we could see the live music over at the main pool. And so we went over and sat and listened to some live music. It was like a violinist playing electric violin or something like that at the pool area. And then um, we didn't go to the show. They had some kind of Beyonce
It was
show.
Beyonce the first
Beyonce
night,
show.
but we didn't make it over there the first night. We did the second night. They had a rock show. It lasted about an hour in the auditorium over there. Um, so that was good.
Yeah, yeah, they do a nightly show outside of live music. Plus the second night, when after the show we came back through the main lobby area and they had a DJ going. I don't know if they did that every night. I didn't pay
They
attention.
did a lot of different things by the pool too, saying like karaoke. They had, live music, just different types of things. They played games. I guess it was scheduled for that, but they did a lot over there.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about like the second day we hung out at the preferred in that morning we hung out in the preferred beach chairs. They had the tiki huts, so we were able to kind of hang out in the shade or slide out into the sun. They had bar service coming around.
They do.
Coconuts. They had the
Yeah,
coconut
they have
guy.
coconuts, so they'll, cut open a fresh coconut, and then they have rum they'll add to it if you want that. Or you can just drink it as coconut water.
Yeah, so we hung
Milk.
out on the beach until about lunchtime,
Yeah.
and then they had a lunch set up. It looked like they had a lunch in the preferred. It had the same setup in the main area, probably just more seating in the main area of the
Mhm.
beach, where they had brought in like a it was kind of like a buffet setup. It was like a taco bar. They made like beef tacos, chicken tacos, nachos, and you could make your own, or they would make your tacos, and then you put your toppings, and then they had seating with waiter service.
And they have
drinks.
music playing out there and some speakers. They were setting up for a wedding.
Mm-hmm.
So it was nice.
Yeah. And then we went from there up to the preferred pool area, and we met some people there, some really nice people from North Carolina and Illinois and Russia and California. All kinds of people we met from all over
Yeah.
that were at the pool.
They
But
were all very nice.
very nice people and great waiter service. I mean, I think our drinks could get half empty, and they were coming
Oh, yeah.
around ready to get another drink. So just really 5-star service.
Yeah.
And then dinner we had
Italian.
It was phenomenal.
And that was the best Italian I've had in a long time.
Yeah,
Like,
phenomenal.
it definitely was not a standard all-inclusive
Yeah,
meal. Like,
Yeah.
it was very, very good.
really enjoyed that Italian dinner.
Um,
And then, like we said, we went to the rock show. Well, actually, before that, before the show, we had time. We went to the preferred lounge.
yeah, we did hang out in the lounge for a little bit. There was a football game on,
Yeah, LSU.
and I mean, it's nice in there. I was telling him, I was like, I went to the restroom in there, and I had to wait because the girl was in there cleaning the restroom. So I went to the restroom, and then I don't know, it was 30 minutes later, and I wanted to go back in there and wash my hands before we left to go for dinner or whatever. And she had gone back in after I went in there and recleaned it. So
Yeah.
I think we just determined there's almost one cleaning crew
Yeah. There's an attendant. It seemed to me that there was an attendant
per restroom.
for every restroom, or for every set. So we
Yeah.
had his and a hers and the preferred. I think there was one lady
And
there.
they're there always. I never went into a dirty restroom ever.
Yeah.
I think after we talked about it, I was like, I would probably give that Secrets Cap Cana anyway a 9.8 out of 10. Like, it's definitely the nicest all inclusives I've ever gone to.
For sure.
There's really not a lot I could complain about, but I was like, I'm sure there's always something.
Yeah. I mean, I can't think of anything that stood out.
The only thing that I figured that they could add would be like a clothesline in the restroom. So like somewhere to hang. They didn't have a lot of spots to hang your wet clothes or even really towels
Yeah.
in the bathroom in the room. But other than that, I mean, and that's minor.
Yeah.
So.
It was amazing. So yeah, we spent a couple nights there at Secrets, and then we checked out at noon the next day and had a transfer to Dreams Onyx, which was about an hour, roughly, an hour drive north. So Cap Cana is on the south of Punta Cana, just maybe 20 minutes south of the airport. And Dreams Onyx is about a half an hour north of the airport. So it was about 50 minutes or so drive up to Dreams Onyx. And when we got there, very similarly, they had a preferred lounge. They took us to the preferred lounge check-in area.
And Secrets is adults only. Dreams is family.
Correct.
So.
Correct. And I had also booked a preferred room, and they had a preferred pool, which kind of was one of the selling points for me. Was I wanted to see the Dreams Resort and be able to kind of feel out how that resort is. But they had a really nice adult pool area that kind of sold me on us staying there. And I thought that our room would be overlooking the adult pool based on the layout of the preferred rooms. We were in a building that half of the rooms faced the adult pool and the other half faced the
Like standard main
main
pool.
pool, and we were overlooking the main pool, which was fine.
Mhm.
But our room was not ready at check-in, which we again got there about 1 p.m. And so I didn't expect it to be ready, but we had booked through one of the Facebook groups that I follow on Punta Cana. A lot of people had recommended Tropical Treasures, which is um, massage, a beachfront massage place about 10-minute walk from the Dreams Resort. So
It's right on the other side of the resort. So there was Dreams, Breathless, and then a Secrets. And it was right on the other side of Secrets. So
yeah, so about 10-minute walk.
but I will say that nice thing about being at Cap Cana was the beaches are not public. So
yeah, it's in a Cap Cana is like a private marina gated community. So there were no street.
so once we got to Dreams, there were people walking down the beaches just trying to sell you things, and
yeah,
anybody can kind of come up on the beaches there. It's not like it was ever at Secrets Cap Cana.
true. Yeah. So we went to the buffet and grabbed a bite to eat before we walked down the beach, and the buffet was fun. They did a pasta toss, which we both had the pasta toss at the buffet, and it was good. And then we walked down to Tropical Treasures, had our massage, very nice. It was literally like over the water. I mean, their building's like on the cliff over the water, so you could hear the waves crashing against the rocks. You could feel them. Yeah, there was a couple
on us while we were getting our massage.
Couple of waves, big waves crashed, and it splashed up onto the massage beds. But that was a really nice alternative to booking a massage at the resort. I mean, just to give some context, I think the massages at the resort are around $180 to $220 roughly for our 60 to 80 minute massage. And I think they were running a special through their Facebook page for a 90-minute, not a 1 hour, but a 90-minute massage for like $60 per person. So yeah, I mean, we were able to,
and it was great. I told him the girl, she did a better job than I feel like that any massages I've had recently. So
yeah,
they did a really good job over there.
Really enjoyed that. I think they told us that they have about 12 massage therapists, and they had all just beds just lined up across their balcony. And so it's not like a private room. It's like everybody, everybody.
So you're laying there with everybody.
Yeah. But, no different than a lot of the beach vendors, which, is common, I think down there. So yeah, we really enjoyed that. We went back. We tried to check in, so there was a second preferred lounge at a smaller one, kind of similar to Secrets, but it was right near our room, and so we knew what building we were in, and they had given us the room number at check-in, but they didn't give us the cards because our room wasn't ready. So we went to that check-in lounge, and they did not have keys there, but they called our butler. Which they didn't call it a butler, they called it a concierge. And I think he either had more, we didn't see him nearly as much.
We only saw him once.
Yeah. So he came with our keys, greeted us at that lobby, took us up to our room, and we never saw him again. Yeah. Like
which is fine.
Yeah, it was fine. It was a much bigger resort. We only needed reservations at the hibachi and he did. I messaged him through WhatsApp, and he booked our hibachi dinner one of the nights. But we didn't see him, which was fine. I mean, like I said, we didn't have a need to see him, but it felt more personal at Secrets as far as the service. But again, Secrets Cap Cana is a much smaller resort.
And it's more expensive.
So, just some things to consider. But then the next day we went on the 4-wheeler excursion, the ATV excursion
which was amazing.
Yeah, really enjoyed that, and booked that through Viator, which is owned by TripAdvisor.
It's a very small company, so it was more intimate.
It was a husband and wife running the business. And they went on the trip with us. So we had 10 people total on 4-wheelers. And we rode out to beautiful beach. There
Mhm.
was nothing out there. It was just a
We
local.
got to go to a local home. It was a private home there on the beach. Sweet family. They gave us coffee and fresh coconut to eat. So that was nice.
Yeah.
And then we rode down to a river. Got to play in the river a little bit. So that was my favorite.
Yeah. Really enjoyed that. We
Hmm.
went and got coconuts out of the tree, and we busted the coconuts on the side of the tree and drank the coconut
Hmm.
milk straight from the coconut. So that was a really neat excursion that we did. That was about a 3 hour long excursion that took up the afternoon, but
Hmm.
they picked us up, from the hotel, and everything went smoothly then. And so the day after that, we decided to do Saona Island, which
Yeah,
is the
which is
national
beautiful.
beautiful national park that's maybe from Dreams Onyx was maybe 2 hour drive.
Yeah, it wasn't close, but it was beautiful. Getting there was a little
Yeah,
questionable.
it's the way that I don't like the way that they do it. There's so many different tour companies. I think if we were to do it again, we saw some of the smaller tours where they limit like 12 people for the tour.
Smaller
Smaller
boats and
boat, and it's not so like just
it
mass.
is a state park, so there were people trying to sell us things over there.
Yep,
Um
yep.
Massages and
Pineapples.
fish.
Fish, yeah, you could buy fish, you could buy lobster, you could buy, well, they had the guys with the
Yeah, they
briefcases
were,
with jewelry coming
yeah,
around, and so
which is
it
fine.
was fun. But I think I would go back and do it in a smaller group because our group got mixed in with a larger group, and the way with the big tour operators, the way that it looks like it works is the city controls the port controls which tours go out on a speedboat, and then if you go out to the island on a speedboat, you have to come back on
On
a
the
catamaran.
catamaran.
So the speedboats get there quicker, then they feed you lunch, and then you hang out at the beach. And by the time you're getting in the water, hanging out at the beach, the catamarans that the people who got put on the slower catamarans in the morning are arriving, and then they're ready to feed them because you're done eating, and then they put you on their catamaran and send you back, and then they hang out for a while, and then they put them on the speedboat. So they've got it figured out. Like as a science, I think they said there's about 10,000 people a day that they shuttle to that
Yeah,
island. So I mean, but they've got it pretty well
yeah.
planned
It
out.
was it was a I mean, it was good.
Yeah,
The beach itself was beautiful. Some of the prettiest water I've seen.
yeah, it's a beautiful beach. But yeah, we did that that was really our last full day there. And then after that, we went to the steakhouse over at Breathless. So staying at the Dreams, if over 18, has access to the Breathless Resort, which was next door. So we went over
Hmm.
there just to check it out. We had dinner at the steakhouse. They were doing a Mexican themed night
Hmm.
that they had set up in their main.
That was fun.
That was a cool little, area. They were playing music and had Mexican vendors set up with different foods, and that was a neat thing going on over there. They had a casino over at Breathless.
It's small, but they do
Small.
have a casino, and they had like tables in there. It
Hmm.
wasn't just
Yeah,
machines.
they had like blackjack and roulette and
Yeah,
table games. So they had a small casino. They had a nightclub over at Breathless. We saw they had a little nightclub
yeah.
that was kind of up the stairs from the lobby.
Hmm.
So we went and checked that out and had a good dinner there. And then the next day we left to come back home.
Yeah,
Yeah, we had booked the transfer with Transecure. He was like 15 minutes early. He messaged me through WhatsApp and said, "Hey, I'm on my way. Hey, I'm 10 minutes away. I'm a little ahead of schedule. Let me know." So we were able to they had scheduled for a bag pickup, but he was there about the time our bag pickup was supposed to be there. So we just canceled the bag pickup, said we'll grab our bags and head to the front. So we got back to the airport a little early,
and then
and
we did the lounge at the
yeah.
airport,
So
which was nice.
I knew we were probably going to have a little bit of time because I knew we'd need to check out around noon, have about an hour to the airport, and then our flight didn't leave till 4 o'clock. So I figured we'd have some time at the airport. So I booked their lounge. Punta Cana Airport has a couple of different lounges that you can book. They try to bundle it with the fast track service where you kind of skip the lines
The lines were very short when we
yeah.
were there, so we didn't need that.
I had heard being off season, people were
Mhm.
like, "Yeah, your lines are going to be like 10 minutes," and so they
And
were.
they were
They were
at the most.
less than 10 minutes. So we were through customs, security in 15, 20 minutes, and then we went to the lounge, which both of their lounges there in the B terminal, which is where most, I think, all international flights out of Punta Cana go through the B terminal. They had a pool at both of them. So we went to the one directly across from the Delta gate that we were flying out of, and we went up there, and if you leave your passport at the check-in desk, you can get 2 towels to go. They had bathrooms,
Showers and everything.
Yeah.
And then they had a buffet.
Buffet with drinks. Each person can
And
get
it really
2
wasn't
drinks.
that expensive.
No, it was like $50 a person. And that gives you 2 hours in the lounge, which was plenty of time.
And the pool, and then that included food, that included drinks.
2 drinks, 2 like mixed beverage drinks
Yeah.
per person. It was limited. I went up to the bar and asked about like a Jack and Coke, and the girl said, unfortunately, Jack is not included in the free drinks. So here's our house wines, beers, and then a few, vodka, rum type drinks that were offered. So it wasn't a full menu of drinks that was available, but that was fine. The food was good. And the pool was nice. The bathrooms were nice and clean. There was a lady that came out twice while we were there, checking the bathrooms, making sure they were clean. So
it was nice.
It was something different. We had never done a lounge, so we decided to do that. And then we went down for our flight and boarded right on time and got to Atlanta right on time. So flight wise, we had really, good service on our flights and no problems there. But yeah, highly recommend Secrets Cap Cana. Dreams, I think Dreams was nice. I think for a family, I think I had never stayed outside of beaches. We have stayed at the beaches before. I would probably give beaches a little bit higher rating than Dreams. I think
the
quality.
food was a little bit better at beaches. None were as good as Secrets, but the food was a little better. It did like the air in the room felt a little bit damp.
Which I had read about. Some people bring damp raised bags, but
then and then it was definitely clean there, but some updates maybe needed. I feel like so.
Yeah, some of the people I've seen have complained about the air conditioners cutting off and not coming back on. I actually saw that once in our room. They had the little sensors over the door, so when you go out on the balcony, if you open the door, the air would cut off. And one time we were just hanging our towels and I closed it back and it didn't read the air didn't come back on, and I noticed it. So I did it again, and when I did it the second time, it came back on. So I think there's probably some things that could be fixed there, but again, pretty minor issues. We didn't have any major issues, so I could definitely recommend that. But yeah, Secrets was definitely my favorite resort. I think that
really the whole like Cap Cana area I liked better just because of it being private and gated.
Yeah,
it just felt a little bit safer is the right, but
yeah,
it was a little, I don't know.
It was nice to me to be able to just sit at the beach and relax and not have vendors come out. In fact, we never sat on the beach at Dreams because there were vendors up and down the beach all day.
And it was sargassum season, which we knew, so that was fine. Didn't really affect us. We didn't swim in the ocean aside from when we went to the island. So,
yeah, highly recommend Secrets Cap Cana. The Dominican, really enjoyed it. And so I think on our next podcast, we're going to get into our trip over the summer to Europe. So we'll probably break that up into a few different podcasts. The next few podcasts we'll probably focus one on England. We did England, we did Poland, Switzerland, Spain, and
Paris.
Yeah, France. So we'll have a few episodes coming up talking about those, and we'll break those up. So hope to see you guys on the next one. Thanks. Have a good one.